I am Shaggy, I am Philalitheia, and you're going to be invited. Well, you are being invited. You are currently invited to get ready with me this morning. I made $10 yesterday. So, that's pretty sweet. If I can make $10 today, I can cash out $20, which will allow me to pay off my... Woo! That'll allow me to pay off my Cash App credit that I took out just in time to get $24 from Patreon. I'm gonna have to put on my real gloves today. It is freezing cold. I don't know, you didn't see. When I sat up this morning, the outside of my sleeping bag was encased in ice. And I'm not really inside it right now. And, ooh, I have my rechargeable battery working double duty to charge my phone, and now you're not going to walk with me today. What I wanted to talk to you about is multiple revenue streams, and I'm going to end up doing shorts. I'm going to end up doing shorts and repeating all of this. And so really what I think I'm doing is, as I do these Get Ready With Me lives, and as I wind down at night, having accomplished more of my goals before I got to the tent, because I'm chasing the money right now, because I'm telling this story out of order, but I'm chasing the money right now because I've put myself in debt, which gives me immediate financial goals. And so for those, because I'm always thinking about the future. This is for God, okay? And now if you've been paying attention to my integrity, and you've been listening to me talk about Job, you know that a man's integrity is his idiosyncratic approach to genius, okay? And you know that genius, when I say it that way, is the personal god of intellect. And when I say that, you know that what I mean is, well, the personal god of intellect is the god that the wizards tend to confuse with the one true God, and in so doing limit themselves to samsara, the cycle of birth and rebirth, because they were wrong. They are wrong, but they have been wrong for generations, just for thousands of years. I'm reading this book, Witches, and I really highly recommend you do. Because since I can't get you to sit around a circle with me and listen to me read a book and explain to you why it's important to you and how it changed me, there's just no topic that I'm interested in that I can get people to gather around and do that. I started getting it around Jane Roberts, but I haven't had a single person, not a single one of those people that used to sit around and listen to me and were willing to pay me money to continue that privilege. None of them have asked me to continue since I went to the tent. Not a single person has asked me to read Jane Roberts to continue, and there were about 9 of them. Not a single one. It's very frustrating. But I'm chasing the money. I made $10 yesterday. I have the opportunity to make money today. There's $5 waiting for me in a survey app. I'm going to play through all these games that I've monetized. I can add more games that I can monetize to my workload, because as many as 4 of the games that I've been monetizing are, their payouts are going to run out. These apps like Misplay, Snacksy. I'm also using Daily Gift. These apps are interesting. They're charity, but they're a micro gigging economy. Like there's a legitimacy to what they're doing here. Companies used to do this. They used to micro gig out work under the table. Just cash gigs. Like mystery shopping, secret shopping. Used to just be a cash gig. Right? And then it became a gift card gig. And then somebody figured out that these damn mobile games, they're making money hand over fist. And see, this is one of the reasons you guys are skeptical of me, is because you understand how quickly microtransactions add up, I think. I think you really do understand how quickly microtransactions add up. And I think that while you're stupid, you're not unintelligent. And so you were educated to be able to do the math. And you see, when you scroll into me, you see that 100 people have seen my videos, and then you, overestimating how smart you are because you're stupid, you overestimate how smart you are, and I can prove to you that you do that. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Everyone does it, including me. That's why I have to constantly remind myself how stupid I am. That's why, like, that girl was surprised enough when she asked me how I'm doing today, and I said, "Oh, I'm doing dumber than hell." She was surprised enough by the honesty of my response that I was frustrated that I was making minor mistakes that I was better than to be making. That, well, it didn't make me necessarily sexually viable, and I don't want to be sexually viable. You got to understand that not every response from a woman to me, and not every response from a woman to a male, from a woman to a man, has to be about sexual viability. The only people who think like that are psychopaths. You have to understand, the only people who actually think in those terms are sexual predators. And so women who think in those terms are either themselves sexual predators or have been sexually predated enough that they think the sexual marketplace is Little Red Riding Hood's forest. And there's a reason for that too. Little Red Riding Hood is not fiction. No, it's a fictional story, but the context around it is very real. That was a thing that very much happened. There were little French girls that were enrolled in this school, and they all wore red capes, red cloaks, right, red hoods, to identify themselves. Because something you don't understand in the modern world, and I know you don't understand it because I watched my generational cohort really struggle with it, is the idea of uniformity, uniforms, and the idea that clothes are a costume, and that your costume identifies you, and that your it matters to dress. It matters to dress within your cultural cohort, within your cultural milieu. It's appropriate to dress in your costume. Like, I used to talk to Madge, my buddy Magic Shadow. I used to talk to him about how funny it was to see people in this town see me code as a stoner, but then not behave like a stoner. Not be a general spacey fuck. And he goes, yeah, people don't understand coding anymore. They don't understand uniforms. They don't understand that you can... And see, girls have done this. This is why the cultural appropriation conversation was such a big deal about 15 years ago. cultural appropriation is a big deal because if you, and this is like metalheads get so offended when people wear metal bands that they don't know the music. And you go, well, I kind of like the music. It's like, okay, yeah, but you don't know the music. I used to get into an argument with my most recent ex-girlfriend, and I used to get into this argument so much. She would be like, well, I'm allowed to wear metal shirts for bands I don't like because I like the genre. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't like the genre. You don't know the genre. And she'd be like, yeah, but I like the genre and I like the people that like the genre. And I'm like, exactly. You want to be recognized as among a group of people fluent in a language that you're not. So, for example, you know a couple. Well, no, there's a great example. There's a perfectly great story that I don't have to hypothesize anything. Nothing has to be hypothetical. I watched the video of it happen. I didn't watch it happen live. But Dave Mustaine of Megadeth, famous for being an asshole and for being really confrontational, unafraid to initiate in what would be otherwise socially, what you call cringy situations. And so he made a cringe video kind of making fun of young people because he walked up to this girl somewhere in Scandinavia, I think, somewhere either in Central Europe, Germany or Northern Europe. And before they were going to a show, he was walking around outside the show to see like what his fans look like now, because you got to remember, he's in his whatever, he's pushing 60, pushing 70 maybe even. Right, he was in his 20s in the 80s, right? So he was born sometime in the 60s. So he's in his 60s. He's pushing 70. I'm right. Right? And so he's been playing music for 40 years. He wants to see what his audience looks like in 24. It was either 2024 or 2023. He wants to see what his audience looks like, right? Who's coming to a Megadeth show, you know, this late in his career, especially with the throat cancer and all that stuff. And he's mellowed out, he's zenned out a little bit. He's found his Christianity. He's able to relax a great deal more than he was in his youth. But he's still him. He's still confrontational. And so he sees this girl out on the street wearing a Megadeth shirt. And he gets all excited like everybody would. And she's like 16, 17. She can't be 22, right? Tall, blonde, whatever. He walks up to her and he's like, hey, that's my band. And she's like, ugh, who are you? Don't talk to me. And he goes, the band on your shirt, Megadeth, that's my band. I'm in that band. We're playing tonight. That's my band. And she goes, ugh, don't talk to me, weirdo creep. And like goes around him, doesn't even listen to him at all. Didn't listen to him at all. Doesn't know the band. Doesn't even know what the members look like. And see, you guys don't worship the anti-rock star the way I did when I was a teenager. Because see, I don't know that you have convinced yourself that the rock star behavior, the sexual athleticism of men like Diamond Dave, of Van Halen, it's cold today. It's so interesting, you know, as a continuation from yesterday or the day before, whenever I did that video about how the cold doesn't affect me in the same way anymore. It was decidedly below freezing last night. I told you as I was leaving my tent. I know I told you as I was leaving my tent yesterday that I didn't bring all my gear. I'm bringing all my gear today. And I was surprised that I wasn't cold, and I was surprised. I knew I was going to really suffer for it. I didn't. It was like 20 degrees, and I was good. It was weird. It's cool. That's from eating. I ate a lot yesterday. I got a soup and a sandwich on those gift cards those girls gave me. And that's why I chose to do it, is because I remembered, oh yeah, hey, you're going to want calories today. And also, because the $10 I made yesterday didn't cash out until about an hour ago. I didn't actually get access to it. And then, yeah, and it's cheaper to save it. So if I could save that up till it's about 50, 60 bucks would be the right way to do it. Come on, you fuck. God damn it. These are all leather shoes except for the fabric mesh. And so when I'm wearing 2 pairs of socks, it can be a complication to get my feet in here. I haven't even talked about what I wanted to talk about, and now I don't remember what it was. I do this to myself. It's my own fault for not just talking about what I wanted to talk about. Right. I just wanted to tell you that I made that $10, and that I understand that when you look at my work, and you see me say, hey, I'm trying to find $30. You know how microtransactions work, and you've seen people who absolutely don't deserve it get rich on GoFundMe. And so what you think is that I am being homeless, because what you think is that you're the only person like you. You're the only person smart enough to put 2 and 2 together. And so what you think is that when you roll around and there are 120 views, or you roll around and there are 450 views, and it's been a week, you think that even 10% of those people have given me money. And probably all 35 of it, all of them, maybe even more than 35 of it, all of them. And you think that all human beings are unscrupulous and have no integrity, because you're just rolling through Twitter. And so you anticipate that every time I make one of these videos asking for money, you anticipate that every time a creator makes a video asking for money, that dozens and dozens of people roll in, and now they've got thousands of dollars, and now they've got spending money for weed. And what you don't understand is that's why I ask for spending money for weed directly, is because that never happens. I have made $0 off YouTube. 0. And so I'm going to turn on these apps that give me a passive income while I walk, and I'm going to go walk to the bus, and then I'm going to walk to the library. Well, no, I'm going to walk from the bus to Christ Temple, and then from Christ Temple to the library, and then from the library to the bus, and I'm going to take the bus back up here. I'm going to walk to Panera, and I'm going to walk from Panera to Dollar Tree, and from the Dollar Tree to my home. And I'm going to see how much money that makes me in a day. And if I just do fewer and fewer shorts, and I read less and less for you, and I just go private with my research, that's on you. And if you never read Rob, that's on you too. And I'm not worried about it. Because what you don't understand is this is prophecy. And this is my proof. I think that's why those of you who stick around long, or who check in your mind frequently, those of you who check in 2 or 3 times a month, it's not frequently, by the way. If you're only checking in 2 or 3 times a month on your friends, you're a bad friend. You're a narcissist. And something you don't know is that narcissism is a trait, psychopathy trait. There is a trait, psychopathy trait. All right, I gotta put you in my pocket, which means I'm done talking to you. So actually take care of yourselves. Check in on the people that matter to you more than once a week. All right? It's not that hard.